The story opens with a strange awakening. A young man regains consciousness, but there is nothing around him. No light, no sound, only endless darkness. After a moment, something changes. A tiny glow appears ahead of him. The light slowly spreads, revealing a cracked surface. As his vision adjusts, he realizes the light is coming through a broken shell. Peeking through the opening, he catches a glimpse of tall trees and greenery. Somehow, he is in the middle of a forest. Before he can make sense of it, a transparent screen suddenly appears in front of him. The moment he reads it, his mind goes blank. According to the display, his current form is listed as Dragon Egg. At first, he thinks it must be a joke, but the information looks very real. A calm, godlike voice then speaks, explaining that the screen shows his abilities and stats in numerical form. Furious and confused, he demands answers and asks why he has been turned into an egg. The voice responds coldly, saying that explanations are locked until he gains more levels. That answer only makes him angrier. In frustration, he struggles and shakes his body. Unfortunately, that small movement causes him to fall straight out of the tree he was resting in. He smashes into the ground and begins rolling downhill without any control. His wild tumble finally ends near a river. When he looks into the water, reality hits him hard. His reflection clearly shows a large, smooth dragon egg. Seeing how overwhelmed he is, the divine voice finally offers a proper explanation. In this world, dragon eggs are considered F-rank monsters, the weakest class possible. If his shell breaks completely, he will die instantly. Even the small hole he made to see through is extremely dangerous. The voice continues, saying that while dragon eggs sit at the bottom of the food chain, they hold enormous potential. If they survive long enough, they can grow into powerful dragons. Sadly, survival is the hardest part. Dragon eggs are seen as valuable food by many monsters, and since they don't have limbs, their only way to move is by rolling. He decides to escape and begins rolling away as fast as he can. That plan immediately backfires when he rolls off a short cliff. Once again, he crashes hard, but this time the system announces that his fall resistance has increased from level 1 to level 2. Even so, the fall still drains his health, reminding him that he's far from safe. He continues rolling through the forest, lost in thought. He wonders what kind of creature he will become once he hatches. Will he grow into a massive dragon and spend his life fighting just to stay alive? Suddenly, his thoughts are interrupted. He stops moving when he notices a huge insect nearby. Sensing immediate danger, he hides behind a tree and activates his appraisal skill. The result identifies the creature as an egg devourer, a monster that specializes in hunting eggs. The moment the beast notices him, it charges without hesitation. He rolls away as fast as he can, but deep down, he knows he can't outrun it forever. The chase leads them to the edge of a cliff. As the egg devourer leaps forward, trying to swallow him whole, he makes a desperate move. Using all his strength, he dodges at the last second and slams into the monster. The impact throws the creature off balance, and it plunges down the cliff, dying on impact. This becomes his first ever victory. The system announces that he has gained 12 experience points, pushing him all the way to level 5. His stats are fully refreshed, and more importantly, he unlocks the ability to evolve. Two options appear, baby dragon or small dragon. Not knowing the difference, he requests more information. The system explains that the small dragon is a dwarf-type dragon. While smaller than most dragons, it can still grow larger than a bear. The baby dragon, on the other hand, has weak claws and short fangs, making it poorly suited for combat. Now faced with his first major decision, his new life as a monster truly begins. Although the baby dragon form is extremely dangerous, it holds limitless growth. With enough time, it can branch into countless dragon bloodlines. Because of that rare potential, baby dragons are treated as valuable prey. Monsters hunt them for food, and human adventurers chase them for fame and profit. At first, he chooses the small dragon. Compared to the baby dragon, it feels like the smarter choice. Stronger, safer, and far less likely to get him killed early on. But the moment he makes his decision, the divine presence reacts. The voice gently pulls him close and tells him not to trap himself with fear. It says that his future shouldn't be chosen based on safety alone. The voice admits it has high hopes for him and wants him to aim higher than the easy path. Those words leave him unsettled. He starts thinking back to what the system said earlier. The baby dragon had endless evolution paths, while the small dragon sounded powerful but limited. A troubling thought forms in his mind. What if the small small dragon reaches a dead end someday. Even if it's risky, he doesn't want a future filled with regret. With his resolve firm, he changes his choice and selects Baby Dragon instead. The system accepts his decision instantly. In the next moment, his body begins to reshape. His shell disappears, scales form, and limbs grow. When the transformation ends, he finds himself reborn as a yellow baby dragon. A flood of skills pours in, and all his stats rise far beyond what they were before. However, his HP and MP do not recover afterward, leaving him weak and drained. Before he can even think about moving again, his stomach growls loudly. That's when he notices the corpse of the creature he defeated earlier. Strangely, it doesn't look disgusting anymore. It looks tasty. He realizes that strength requires food, especially protein. The moment that thought crosses his mind, his dragon instincts take over. Without hesitation, he eats the monster. Once finished, he curls up and falls into a deep sleep. When he wakes up the next morning, his energy is fully restored. Feeling refreshed, he walks to the river and looks at his reflection. Staring back at him is a small dragon. That's when it finally sinks in. This isn't a dream. He has truly been reborn into another world. Yet something feels off. No matter how hard he tries, he can't remember his past life. Before he can think further, he senses movement behind him. Several dark-colored worms appear. This time, he doesn't run, he charges. Using his new abilities, he tears through the creatures with ease. As he continues fighting, he unlocks even more skills, making each battle faster and smoother than the last. When the last worm falls, hunger returns, but he refuses to eat them again. The taste was unbearable. Instead, he spots nearby mushrooms and decides to try them. That choice turns out to be a mistake almost immediately. The mushrooms are poisonous, and he pays for it badly. From that moment on, he swears never to eat unknown plants again. Determined to find real food, he moves deeper into the forest. After some searching, he spots a gray wolf. It's bigger than him, but fear no longer controls him. He attacks. Using baby breath and dragon punch, he overwhelms the wolf. The flames lightly roast its body, and the smell surprises him. It smells amazing. Curious, he roasted a bit more before taking a bite. It's delicious. Soon after, he encounters another wolf and defeats it even faster. With that victory, his level shoots up to 20 out of 25. Now he knows. Just 5 more levels stand between him and his next evolution. As he grills his meal, he realizes something unsettling. This life is starting to feel natural. Hunting, fighting, eating. He's slowly becoming a true dragon. Still, despite his growing power, loneliness begins to set in, and it's starting to feel empty. Deep down, he finds himself wishing for a companion. Not long after, he hears voices in the distance. He can't understand the language, but the sound alone brings relief. They're human voices, and for the first time since his rebirth, he doesn't feel completely alone. Sensing movement nearby, he quickly slips behind a tree and peeks out. A small party of adventurers is heading his way. For a moment, hope sparks in his chest. Maybe he can talk to them. Then reality hits him. He's a dragon. If they see him as a monster, they might attack instantly. Still, he convinces himself otherwise. He's small, weak, and doesn't look threatening at all. In fact, he might even look cute. There's a chance they won't hurt him. They might even take him in. Trusting that fragile hope, he steps out from behind the tree and stands in front of them, lowering his posture and trying his best to appear harmless. It's a terrible mistake. The adventurers don't hesitate for even a second. To them, he isn't cute or innocent. He's valuable prey. The party leader immediately swings his sword, cutting across his chest. Before he can react, magic surges through his body, numbing his limbs and stealing his strength. He tries to move. He tries to run. Nothing works. Paralyzed on the ground, he watches as the group approaches him calmly, already deciding how to kill him. In that moment, he understands how naive he was. A dragon and humans were never meant to be friends. After surviving endless danger, fighting monsters, and risking everything to evolve, his life is about to end for no reason at all. As the leader raises his weapon for the final strike, a voice suddenly interrupts him. A female adventurer steps forward and stops him. She argues that killing such a small, harmless dragon is unnecessary. Her tone is firm, and to his surprise, the blade never comes down. Confused and barely conscious, he feels warmth spreading through his body. Looking up, he realizes the woman is using healing magic on him. Quickly activating his appraisal skill, he learns her name, Maria. Even though her mana is nearly depleted, she continues healing him anyway. As she speaks, something changes within him. The system announces that he has gained the Greek language skill, allowing him to slowly understand human speech as it levels up. For the first time since his rebirth, he feels genuine relief. But peace doesn't last. Sudden screams echo from deeper in the forest. Maria's expression changes instantly. She recognizes the voices. They're her teammates. Without hesitation, she turns and runs toward the danger. Panicking, he grabs her arm, shaking his head and desperately trying to warn her that whatever is ahead is far too strong. But she pulls free and keeps running. He can't abandon her, forcing his weakened body to move. He chases after her. When he reaches the battlefield, his blood runs cold. Standing before them is a rock dragon, a C-rank monster. Even worse, it has 197 GP, an absurd amount of durability. Maria is already wounded. When he cries out to her, the monster slowly turns its massive head toward him instead. Its eyes lock onto his small body. Frozen in fear, he realizes the truth. This enemy is far beyond him. As the rock dragon focuses on him, his mind goes blank, and one thought echoes in his head. Is this really where everything ends? The little dragon drops from the sky and barely avoids dying, landing hard and sliding into a pile of bushes. His heart is racing. Hiding there, he starts blaming himself for being so dumb. He really thought teaming up with humans would somehow make him strong enough to win. Suddenly, he spots a girl lying on the ground. She's still breathing, but the stone monster is moving closer to her. The dragon doesn't even think twice. He dashes forward to save her, even though a voice in his head keeps screaming at him to turn around and run. His body freezes for a second like something powerful is holding him in place, reminding him of the truth. He is way too weak to beat a beast that big, but his heart won't let him leave behind someone who protected him before. The monster's tail swings at him. The little dragon rolls across the ground, barely missing it. He keeps rolling again and again, slipping past attacks like a tiny hero in a game. One lucky move even lets him bump the monster right in the head. When he looks back, he sees the mage is gone. The warrior is still alive, but barely. The dragon knows he can't win this fight. His plan is simple now. Lead the monster away and come back later for the humans. But the stone beast slams the ground so hard that dirt and rocks fly everywhere. The dragon gets hit and tumbles back, shocked that the thing can attack the whole area at once. Running won't be enough. He leaps forward and throws a fiery punch. The monster heals right in front of his eyes, proving this battle is hopeless. That's when he makes a choice. He grabs the girl, Myra, and lifts her onto his shoulder. He glances at the wounded man one last time, knowing he doesn't have the strength to save both. As he runs, he notices Myra is losing blood. Panic sets in. He tries to use a healing spell, but nothing happens. This isn't a story where magic saves the day, so instead he trusts his nose. He sniffs the air, searching for the path the humans came from. He finds the trail and sprints as fast as his small legs can carry him, but trouble follows. A pack of gray wolves jumps out and surrounds him. There's nowhere to run. The dragon stands his ground. He fights with everything he has. For a moment, Myra opens her eyes. Through blurry vision, she sees the tiny dragon standing alone against the wolves, protecting her like a fearless guard. Then the world fades and she passes out again. By the time the wolves are gone, night has fallen. The dragon is shaking, tired, and hurt, but he keeps moving. Step by step, he drags himself forward until warm lights appear in the distance. A village. He cries out for help. But to the humans, it just sounds like a monster roaring. Men rush out with tools and weapons. One of them throws a spear, and it strikes the dragon's leg. Pain shoots through his body, but he refuses to drop Myra. Finally, someone recognizes the girl in his arms. The shouting stops. Seeing he can't make them understand his words, the dragon gently sets Myra on the ground and limps back into the forest. Far away in the dark, he finally lets himself rest. Myra is safe. That's what matters. But his leg burns with pain, and a hard truth sinks in. No matter how kind his heart is, the world will always see him as a dragon. As the sun rises, a soft voice echoes in the little dragon's mind. It calls him a tiny hero. It's not much, but to him, it feels like a small badge of honor for what he did. Back in the village, Myra slowly opens her eyes. Her body feels heavy, like she's been asleep forever. Sitting beside her is Marielle, the elf healer, looking tired but relieved. Marielle explains what happened. Myra was in terrible shape. The wounds were so bad that she had to use powerful white magic, the kind she hadn't touched in years. Myra had been out for 2 whole days. That's how close things were. Still confused, Myra asked the same question again and again. Who brought her back? Marielle sighs and changes the subject. She says this never would have happened if Myra hadn't let Da pull her into his dangerous plans. Hearing his name, Myra asks about the others. Marielle's face darkened. Grants didn't make it. His body was found deep in the forest, crushed, like something huge fell on him. As for Da, they never found him. Most likely the dragon got to him first. Myra's hands start to shake. Tears roll down her face. She blames herself for not stopping Da, for not forcing him to turn back when she still had the chance. Marielle tries to comfort her, saying Da was never the kind of man who listened to anyone. He always rushed into danger, no matter what others said. But Myra doesn't see him that way. To her, Da was brave. He was always the first one to stand between the village and any monster. The kids looked up to him because of that. Then she remembers something important. On the day of the trip, Da had gotten into a loud argument at the tavern. Some man laughed at him, saying he once ran away from a stone dragon and would never beat one. Da didn't take that well. He shouted back that it happened 10 years ago. He swore he was stronger now, strong enough to win. That fight lit a fire in him. Not long after, he dragged Grants and Myra into a plan to hunt the dragon. He even claimed Marielle allowed it. Myra knew that wasn't true. The elf had warned her clearly to stay away if Da ever tried something so reckless. But Da used her feelings against her. He said he and Grants would go alone no matter what, and if they died, it would be on her for not coming. Worried about her friends, Myra gave in. She agreed to go, but only if Da promised they would turn back if things got too dangerous. Marielle shakes her head at the memory. She says Da didn't die because of bad luck. He died because of his pride. Then Myra asks the question that won't leave her mind. Did someone carry me back? Marielle says no. She was found at the edge of the village, barely breathing. A monster was nearby, but a man named Gregory scared it away before it could do anything. Myra feels even more confused. She remembers passing out in the forest. There's no way she walked all that distance by herself. Marielle thinks the shock made her forget. Trauma can erase memories, she says. But when Myra closes her eyes and tries to remember, a strange image flashes in her mind. A tiny dragon standing in the dark, fighting wolves to protect her. She opens her eyes quickly and asks what the monster looked like. Marielle can't answer. By the time she arrived, the creature was already gone. Far away in the forest, the tiny hero wakes up. He stretches and blinks, surprised. His leg feels fine. The deep wound from the spear is completely healed. He realizes something then. Being a dragon has one big advantage. A human body would never recover this fast. The little dragon sits alone in the quiet forest, staring at the sky. His thoughts keep drifting back to Myra. Is she safe? Is she warm? Did she wake up yet? He knows the truth. He survived that fight by luck, not strength. Even after growing stronger, the stone monster almost crushed him. If he had been just a little more powerful, things could have ended very differently. That idea burns inside him. I need to get stronger. So he comes up with a smart plan. Instead of fighting monsters one by one, he tricks them into coming to him. He catches a shadow worm and ties it up in a tree, forcing it to cry out for help. When the other worms rush in, they all appear in the same spot. A perfect trap. The dragon doesn't waste a second. He jumps in, breathes fire, and clears them out. Again and again. When the smoke fades, he feels a rush inside him. He's now strong enough to change into something new. A strange voice lists his choices, like a menu floating in the air. Mini dragon, mini angel dragon, child dragon, marble child dragon, plague young dragon. The last one makes him shiver. It sounds like trouble. Confused, he asks the voice what all these names even mean. Why is mini different from child? And what's the difference between baby and little? The voice explains in simple terms. A little dragon grows fast, but it will never grow bigger or stronger than it is now. It's the short road, quick power, but low limits. A baby dragon starts weak, but can become something truly great over time. That's the long road. A child dragon is just a better version of a baby dragon. Stronger body, better growth. The mini path has very few future options, but if it does grow, it always grows into something good. When he asks about the young type, the voice goes quiet. That only makes it feel even more scary, so he asks for details one by one. First, the mini dragon. Small, slow to grow, and not many future paths. The dragon quickly shakes his head. That one's out. Next, the mini angel dragon, a helper dragon that lives to heal and support others. It's great with white magic, but terrible in a fight. He hesitates. Healing sounds nice. He remembers how badly he wished he could save Myra with magic. Still, being weak in battle doesn't feel right. Then comes the child dragon, the natural step forward. Stronger muscles, tougher body, and better fighting power. The voice voice even says it matches his current path well. That one feels safe, reliable. After that, the Marble Child Dragon, a rare kind with strange patterns on its skin and much stronger magic than most dragons. The idea of being special makes his eyes light up. Strong magic could be useful someday. Finally, the Plague Young Dragon. The voice describes it as the start of a disaster dragon, a creature that spreads ruin wherever it goes. They don't live long, but they are incredibly smart. The dragon covers his ears. He doesn't want to hear this, but one last detail slips through. This dragon can turn into a human. His eyes go wide. A human form means walking into villages, talking to people, living without being chased or stabbed with spears, living a normal life. Now his heart feels heavy, power, or peace, safety, or acceptance. The little dragon sits there, stuck between two futures, knowing whatever he chooses will change everything. The moment his rebirth ends, the young dragon is overwhelmed. Multiple evolution paths appear before him, and none of them feel right. One choice stands out for all the wrong reasons: Young Plague Dragon. Even the name sounds evil. Choosing it feels like accepting the role of a villain. But there's something he wants more than anything: to become human again and see Miria one last time. After a painful inner struggle, he convinces himself that this path might still lead there. If he becomes a plague dragon now, maybe he can learn human transformation later and live quietly while doing good. With that fragile hope, he makes his choice. The evolution begins immediately. His body twists and grows larger, dark scales spreading across his skin as massive wings burst from his back. His presence becomes heavy and threatening. A calm divine voice announces that the evolution is complete. When he looks into a pool of water, his heart sinks. The reflection staring back at him isn't a hero, it's a monster. The voice explains that his status view has improved, then begins listing his new abilities. He can now fly. His bite has evolved into Venomous Fang. He gains Dragon Scale Dust, released when he spreads his wings, along with Dark-type Affinity, Sickly Breath, and Paralyzing Poison Claws. Instead of excitement, fear fills him. New titles appear: Calamity and Miscreant, and his level rises to 2. Every reward feels more like a curse. Still, he waits for the one skill he truly wants: Human Transformation. But the voice goes silent. When it finally responds, the answer is crushing. The information is locked behind a higher level. The voice disappears again, leaving the dragon in despair. He's stronger than ever, yet he failed to gain what mattered most. He asks for explanations of his skills. The voice returns, revealing that Dragon Scale Dust releases a deadly miasma. At higher levels, simply flying could wipe out entire nations. To prove it, he flaps his wings slightly, and a nearby plant instantly withers and dies. That's when he realizes the truth. He's no longer just dangerous. He's a living weapon. Next, he learns about Sickly Breath, an ability that spreads deadly diseases and has destroyed an entire civilization in the past. His chest tightens as he wonders if becoming a hero is still even possible. He then asks about his titles. One, Baby Dragon Hero, is tied to courage and hope, offering a path toward heroic evolution. That gives him brief comfort, but the next title, Infestor, belongs to ruthless destroyers and strengthens dark powers while making holy magic harder to learn. Horrified, he begs to give it back. Regret floods his heart as he wishes he could return to being the harmless little dragon he once was. Meanwhile, back in the village, Miria walks with Alariel, an elf guardian. Miria asks about the protection stones surrounding the village. Alariel explains that they create a defensive field that discourages monsters, though powerful ones can still enter. As she listens, Miria thinks about the small dragon she met in the forest. The more she remembers, the more she believes he never meant her any harm. She admits to Alariel that she feels her life was saved by that dragon. Alariel gently warns her not to grow attached. Monsters, she explains, continue to evolve, and with each evolution, they become far more dangerous. Monsters grow by hunting other creatures, gaining levels with every victory. What begins as something weak and harmless can slowly turn into a terrifying force. Far away, a newly evolved dragon feels this cruel truth unfolding. One skill, one level, and one irreversible choice at a time. Mia points out that humans grow stronger too. They train, fight, and gain new skills as they level up. The elf Marielle agrees, but quickly explains the key difference. Humans improve while staying the same, but monsters don't. Every monster has a level limit, and once it's reached, they are forced to evolve. This cycle repeats endlessly, turning them into increasingly dangerous beings. wings. Mia struggles to believe people figured this out long ago. Marielle sighs, reminding her she already explained this years ago, back when Mia was 5 and had to crane her neck just to meet her eyes. When Mia teasingly brings up Marielle's height, the elf clicks her tongue in irritation before continuing. She explains that throughout history, rare individuals appeared who could hear a divine voice. These chosen ones were given direct knowledge about levels, monsters, and the rules of the world. They became heroes and saints, passing that knowledge down to humanity. People didn't learn the truth through trial and error. It was handed to them by the divine itself. Marielle's voice grows serious as she explains that monsters live only to survive, fight, and grow stronger. Every battle pushes them closer to evolution, and their instincts slowly drive them toward violence. She warns Mia not to place her hopes in monsters. Even if the small dragon once saved her, there's no guarantee he'll remain the same. The next time they meet, he could be far stronger or even attack her. Disturbed, Mia begs her to stop. Marielle gently but firmly tells her that monsters are creatures of conflict, fundamentally incompatible with humans. Far away, the young dragon feels those words echo in his heart. Still, he refuses to give up. If monsters are forced to evolve, then he'll choose the right path. He'll become a hero and someday reunite with Miria. With renewed resolve, he sets out to hunt weaker enemies, but everything goes wrong almost immediately. Without warning, his body freezes. Sticky threads wrap tightly around his limbs. Looking down, he realizes he's walked straight into a giant spider's territory, one far stronger than anything he intended to fight. More web shoots toward him. Panicking, he makes a reckless choice and ignites his own body in flames to burn the threads away. He rolls wildly across the ground, screaming inside as the fire consumes him. Then a system message appears. Fire resistance acquired. The pain fades just enough for him to regain control. The spider is briefly trapped and injured. Seizing the chance, he lunges forward, slashing with his claws and injecting paralyzing poison before retreating. But when he checks her health, his heart sinks. She's barely lost half. This fight is unwinnable. He chooses to run. The dragon rolls away at full speed as the spider gives chase. Desperate, he tries to fly, but his small wings fail him again and again. His flight skill is still too weak, so he keeps rolling. Minutes pass. His body burns with exhaustion, yet the spider never slows. Just as despair sets in, a notification appears. Roll has leveled up. Rank 3. Along with it comes a new title, Chicken Runner. The name stings, but he accepts it. He would fight if he stood any chance. Suddenly, a cliff appears ahead. With no time left, he takes a gamble. He leaps into the air, falling for a terrifying moment until his wings finally catch the wind. His flight skill activates properly for the first time, carrying him across the gap. He crashes onto the ground, completely drained. Turning back, he realizes the spider is gone. Relief washes over him. One day when he's stronger, he promises himself he'll return and defeat her for real. He notices it too late. A bridge of webbing stretches across the gap. Before he can react, the giant spider lands right in front of him and the chase starts all over again. As he rolls through the forest in panic, the system announces roll level 4. Normally that would be good news, but it means nothing while he's still fleeing for his life. Then something ridiculous happens. He accidentally rolls over a lion, killing it instantly. Thanks to his walking egg title, the bonus experience stacks, pushing his level from 1 to 3 in seconds. Still rolling non-stop, he crushes every creature in his path. One after another falls, and his level shoots all the way to 8. When he finally notices the massive jump in his stats, his fear fades. For the first time, he feels like he might actually win. He stops running. Checking the spider's abilities, he notices a dangerous skill. Double poison. He doesn't know exactly what it does, but waiting would only make things worse. Gathering his courage, he fires baby breath at full power. The spider responds with poison, burning his throat despite his resistance. Then he realizes something. She's waiting for the poison to weaken him. That gives him an idea. Pretending to stagger, he lures her closer. The moment she leaps, he fires baby breath again and follows with a crushing strike. It works. The system floods him with notifications as his level jumps from 8 to 14. He survived. He won, but the reward he wants never appears. Instead, baby breath reaches level 3 and he gains a new skill, Dragon Tail. His joy vanishes. After calming down, he convinces himself that human transformation must require some hidden condition. That night, he finds a cave near where the lion fell and claims it as a temporary base. The meat he eats tastes awful, but mixing in fruit juice makes it surprisingly good. As he rests, the system grants him a new title, Chief Lord, a name that makes him uneasy. Lying there, he imagines a peaceful future, maybe even getting along with villagers. The thought quickly dies. In his current form, not even Miria would recognize him. Furious, he curses the system for dangling human transformation in front of him without giving it. Back in the village, Miria hears an old man claiming he saw a strange, corpse-like figure near the lake. Most dismiss him as drunk, but the story deeply unsettles her. Later, she tells Marielle and asks to search the forest. The elf refuses, unwilling to risk more lives, but promises to contact the guild instead. The story returns to the dragon as he continues traveling. He encounters a strange monster that looks like living water. When he tries to read its stats, pain explodes in his head. The system warns his skill isn't stable yet, but having just reached level 4, he briefly glimpses the creature's information. Still confused, the young dragon moves forward, determined to grow stronger and chase the future he refuses to give up. The dragon doesn't waste a second. The moment it gets a chance, it bolts away, narrowly dodging an attack from that strange slime creature. He still has no idea what that thing really is, but one thing is clear: it's bad news. Even though its stats don't look impressive, the dragon trusts his instincts and decides to stay far away from it. Today, he'll explore somewhere else. As he wanders deeper into the forest, something unusual catches his eye. Sitting quietly on the ground is a neat-looking pot. The dragon thinks it could be useful, maybe for storing fruits or food later on. Curious, he reaches out to grab it. Big mistake. The moment he touches it, the pot shoots straight into the air and smacks him right in the face. Startled, the dragon quickly checks its status and realizes the truth. This isn't a normal pot at all. It's a rank D monster called Potoris. Whether it's more pot than tortoise, he can't tell, but he knows he needs to act fast. The dragon throws a dragon punch at it. The result? Almost nothing. The monster's HP barely drops from 28 to 27. Annoyed, the dragon goes all out, attacking non-stop from every angle and even smashing it with his tail. Still, the Potoris calmly uses its rest skill, restoring its HP back to full. No matter what he does, the shell won't crack. Thinking quickly, the dragon comes up with a new idea. If this thing is like a land-based tortoise, then gravity should still work. Without hesitating, he grabs the Potoris and hurls it straight off a nearby cliff. The monster lets out a loud screech as it falls into the river below. A divine voice echoes in his head, announcing that he's gained 36 experience points. Thanks to his walking egg title, he earns bonus experience and levels up from 14 to 15. Before he can reflect any further, trouble arrives. Several Potoris suddenly surround him. The screech from earlier wasn't a death cry, it was the skill call allies. The monsters stack themselves on top of each other, forming a tall, wobbly tower. It's not scary at all. The dragon simply leaps high into the air and crashes down, crushing the entire group in one move. The divine voice announces a massive reward, 594 experience points, a new skill called Meteorite, and even more bonus experience from Walking Egg. The dragon skyrockets from level 15 all the way to level 30. His fly skill rises to level 2, and view status increases to level 5. He's very pleased with the outcome. Fighting them in groups is incredibly efficient. Sadly, every shell breaks during the fight, so there's still no usable pot. At least he gets meat, so it's not a total loss. As he picks up one of the fallen Potoris, the dragon sighs and mutters that he'd really like some vegetables too. Meat alone isn't enough. Veggies matter. Suddenly, he freezes. Footsteps. That's new. The dragon quickly hides behind a tree and peers out. What he sees looks like a bear walking through the forest, but something about it feels wrong. When he tries to read its stats, the divine voice tells him it's too far away. However, species information is still available. The creature is a clay bear, a powerful D+ rank monster made entirely of clay, with extremely high regeneration. It's the same rank as the dragon, tough but beatable. And then the dragon gets excited. If it's really made of clay, then after defeating it, he could shape it however he wants. Carefully, the dragon sneaks closer. The monster hasn't noticed him yet. Perfect. He climbs a tree and launches a surprise attack with King Fist. At the last second, the clay bear reacts, opening the back of its body like a trap. The dragon barely dodges in time, panicking. Yeah, that is not a bear. The clay bear lunges at him, but the dragon evades again and lands 2 solid hits in return. Its HP drops sharply from 40 to 25. But before the dragon can celebrate, the monster's regeneration kicks in, restoring its health within seconds. The real fight is only just beginning. The dragon quickly realizes that fighting the clay bear head-on is pointless. At this rate, he'll never win, so instead of attacking recklessly, he rolls around non-stop, dodging every strike while thinking. He can't defeat it in a single blow at his current level, and even his strongest move, Meteorite, can't lift something that massive into the air. For now, he switches to hit and run tactics, circling behind the clay bear and retreating again and again. The monster keeps regenerating, but the dragon notices its MP steadily dropping. As long as he keeps forcing it to heal, victory is possible. Suddenly, the clay bear enters a frenzy and unleashes Sandstorm, filling the area with blinding dust and blocking any approach. When the storm finally ends, the dragon sees that the monster has covered itself in sharp spikes. Rolling attacks are no longer an option. Still, the plan worked. Its MP has fallen from 100 to just 19, likely drained by regeneration, Sandstorm, and transformation. The clay bear rips off its own spikes and hurls them at him. The dragon dodges and notices something strange. The spikes melt the moment they hit the ground. Testing an idea, he leaps in, tears off one of the bear's arms, and confirms that the clay softens once separated from the body. Using the arm, the dragon forms a dense clay ball. Then, combining it with Meteorite, he launches himself along with it, slamming straight into the clay bear and crushing half its body in one devastating attack. The divine voice confirms the victory. He gains 150 experience points plus bonus EXP from Walking Egg, leveling up from 30 to 33. He also unlocks a new skill, Nutcracker. Not very flashy, but effective. Exhausted but satisfied, the dragon claims the clay as his reward. Back at the cave, he molds the clay into pots and bowls, firing them with his own flame. While they harden, he goes searching for food, hoping for vegetables. He finds a lightning shroom, but learns it has a mild paralysis effect, so he leaves it alone. His upgraded view status skill makes gathering much easier. Later, he encounters a giant pink flower. Before he can fully appraise it, the plant opens its mouth, revealing teeth. Panicking, the dragon slices it down. The divine voice explains it was a C-rank carnivorous flower that can't digest salt. Salt builds up in its roots, so the dragon collects some. It's too valuable to ignore. Elsewhere, Mia secretly leaves her village and heads into the forest. Despite being told to wait for guild help, she can't stand still knowing someone might still be alive. Guilt pushes her forward. Along the way, a dark worm ambushes her, but she reacts instantly, casting Fireball and defeating it in one hit. Shaken, she steadies herself and keeps going. Meanwhile, the dragon stumbles upon another discovery, a massive mushroom. The divine voice identifies it as a D-rank monster shroom. The monster shroom can walk once it matures and eventually attacks people. Its taste is close to meat, making it a rare delicacy. The dragon is happy with the find and already imagines it turning into a rich broth. His luck continues when he finds another strange mushroom. The divine voice identifies it as Marat Trogia, an A-rank item. Shocked by its value, the dragon listens as the voice explains that, if cultivated, it could revive a failing nation's economy. That sounds impressive until he hears the downside. The mushroom causes intense hallucinations and euphoria. Before the explanation can even finish, the dragon burns the mushrooms to ash, saying he wants nothing to do with it. The divine voice announces that his itty-bitty hero title has leveled up. Elsewhere, Mia continues through the forest, carefully avoiding monsters and hiding whenever possible. The dragon then discovers a B+ rank fruit called Piperus. Its aroma boosts appetite, and long ago it was so popular among nobles that it was worth its weight in gold. Curious, he gathers some to try later. Mia ventures deeper into the forest and starts to hesitate. Strange eyes watch her from the treetops, filling her with unease. Still, she refuses to give up completely, and decides to search the forest edge one last time before heading back. Meanwhile, the dragon enjoys his growing collection of ingredients. He finds a light mushroom, brings it back to his cave for illumination, and checks his pottery. Everything fired perfectly. Using his new pot, he cooks a simple meal with meat, fruit, salt, and water. The result is better than expected. The salt enhances the flavor beautifully. As he eats, he feels like he's reclaiming a forgotten part of his old life. The divine voice announces that Mr. Cook has leveled up. Still, the bowl isn't very practical, so the dragon dragon plans to make a better one, along with a spoon and brick walls for the cave. Just thinking about it earns him the title Ceramic Artisan. The next day, a carriage arrives near the forest carrying adventurers. One girl wakes her companion, saying they've reached Noah's forest, the place the guild wants investigated. Unaware of this, the dragon returns home after hunting gray wolves. When no one answers his greeting, a brief loneliness hits him, but he shakes it off and gets to work. He butchers the wolves, sets the pelts out to dry, and marinates some meat. Peace doesn't last long. When he checks the drying pelts later, he finds monkeys eating them. They flee when spotted, but the dragon knows they'll be back. To protect his food, he decides to poison the jerky. While searching for toxic plants, he realizes he's gotten good at recognizing poisonous flora. He stumbles upon a beautiful flower field and briefly considers decorating his cave, until a small creature suddenly appears. Using view status, he identifies it as a Venom Princess Lacerta, a monster with nothing but poison-based skills. Before he can react, it lunges from behind and bites him, then instantly retreats. At first, it seems like it ran away. Then the poison kicks in. A sharp pain spreads through his body as the divine voice announces his poison resistance has leveled up. Still, this venom is different. His shoulder won't move, dizziness sets in, and before long, the dragon collapses to the ground, realizing this was exactly how the monster hunts. The small dragon starts to realize that the poison inside his body is not normal at all. It feels much stronger than it should be. His body becomes heavy, his breathing turns rough, and even his thoughts begin to slow down. He clearly understands one thing: if he stays still and does nothing, he will die. That fear pushes him to think harder. He forces his mind to stay awake and searches for a way to survive. After thinking for a moment, he decides the only way to live is to learn more about the black lizard that poisoned him. If he understands his enemy, he might find a cure. Holding on to that hope, he uses appraisal. The familiar divine voice responds and explains that the creature is a D-rank monster with a cruel hunting method. It poisons its prey and then runs away instead of finishing the kill. After the victim becomes too weak to move or dies, it calmly returns to eat. The voice continues and reveals that this monster is called the Venom Princess. She creates her poison inside her own body by eating toxic substances over time. Then the most important information is revealed. The only cure for her poison is her own bodily fluids. Hearing this, the dragon understands his situation clearly. If he wants to survive, he must capture the Venom Princess alive and use her fluids as an antidote. There is no other choice. Luckily, his poison resistance skill is slowing the toxin, so he can still move a little. Even though his body feels weak, he activates his roll skill and starts moving through the forest. Just as he expected, the Venom Princess chases him while also using roll to keep up. Suddenly, a clay spike shoots toward him and hits him, making him realize she can use that skill too. He keeps rolling forward, ignoring his blurry vision and the pain spreading through his body. Then he remembers something important. Earlier, when the giant spider chased him, he escaped by jumping off a cliff. That memory gives him an idea. Using the last of his strength, he rolls faster and heads straight toward that same cliff. At the final moment, he suddenly turns and slams into the Venom Princess, pushing her off the edge. For a second, he feels relieved, but that feeling quickly turns into fear. If she dies from the fall, he will lose his only cure. Without thinking twice, he jumps after her. While falling, the poison flares up again, hitting him harder than before. His strength drains away, and his body feels like it will stop moving. Still, he refuses to give up. He gathers the last of his power and uses baby breath. The blast pushes them upward just enough, and they barely manage to reach solid ground. The moment they land, his body finally gives out. The poison has damaged him badly, and he loses consciousness. The Venom Princess falls on top of his chest as he collapses. Meanwhile, far from the forest, Myra returns to her village after another long day of searching for him and calling his name everywhere she can think of. Once again, she finds no trace of him. Suddenly, she hears Marielle calling her from a distance. Myra quickly worries because she does not want Marielle to find out that she has been secretly going into the forest again, knowing she will definitely be scolded if discovered. Hearing Marielle calling her, Myra quickly leaves the forest and walks toward the voice. When she reaches her, she acts normal and greets her calmly, hiding her panic. Marielle looks relieved and says she was worried because she had not seen Myra for a long time. She explains that she searched everywhere, even went to Myra's house, but could not find her. Then she asks where she has been. Myra does not want anyone to know she has been secretly searching the forest for Eluna on her own, so she makes an excuse. She says she had a small cold and went out for fresh air to feel better. Marielle listens carefully but feels something is not right. She suspects Myra might be looking for a Luna in the woods again, so she asks her directly. Myra quickly denies it and repeats that she only went for a walk because she felt unwell. Seeing her serious face and having no proof, Marielle finally accepts the answer. Then she shares some news. She says a group of adventurers is on their way to investigate the forest and search for a Luna. She tells Myra that professionals will handle it, so she should stop risking herself and stay safe. Myra nods, but the worry in her heart does not disappear. At the same time, deep in the forest, the small dragon slowly wakes up. When his vision clears, he sees the Venom Princess sitting in front of him. At first, he thinks she stayed to eat him after the poison killed him, but when he tries to move, he notices something strange. His body no longer feels heavy, and the burning pain is gone. Then he understands. The Venom Princess saved him. She must have given him her own bodily fluids as the antidote. After he risked his life and jumped off the cliff to save her, she no longer saw him as prey. Later, he brings her back to his nest. He prepares simple food, and they eat together. For the first time in a long while, he does not feel lonely. Sharing a meal with someone makes him feel warm inside. After spending more time together, he realizes neither of them has a proper name. He thinks about giving the Venom Princess a new name, but after considering many ideas, he decides it is not important. What matters is that they understand each other and are no longer alone. As days pass, they grow closer and become true partners. They hunt together, learning when to attack and when to retreat. Having her by his side slowly starts to feel natural. However, there is one habit of hers he cannot accept. She refuses normal food and only eats poisonous plants from deep in the forest. One day when she tries to eat a foul-smelling poison mushroom, he quickly uses baby breath to burn it before she can swallow it. The moment he does that, the Venom Princess becomes clearly upset. He quickly realizes he made a mistake. To the Venom Princess, those poisonous plants are not dangerous at all. They are her source of power. By burning the mushroom, he basically destroyed something precious to her. Wanting to fix this, he promises to find more for her later. But before he can even think about where to search, a heavy and terrifying presence suddenly fills the area. A rare monster called the Twin Head appears in front of them and blocks their path. The creature has two heads with different colors and expressions, and the way it stares at them makes it clear that it wants to fight. The small dragon stiffens. He has never seen a monster like this before. The aura coming from it feels overwhelming. Using appraisal, he notices it has dangerous skills, including gravity magic. His confidence shakes because he is not sure he can defeat something so powerful. Even so, he refuses to back down. The Venom Princess also stands her ground. They look at each other and silently agree to fight together. Their plan is simple. He will attack from the front and keep the Twin Head busy, while the Venom Princess hides in a tree and waits for the perfect chance to strike with her poison. He rushes forward first and attacks to test its strength. The Twin Head instantly fights back with a heavy blow that pushes him away. Before he can recover, the Blue Head opens its mouth and begins casting magic. A glowing circle forms under him, and suddenly the gravity around him becomes extremely strong. His body slams into the ground as if it weighs 100 times more than normal. He struggles to move, his muscles screaming under the pressure. Just when it seems impossible to escape, the Venom Princess attacks from her hiding spot. She fires a clay dart covered in poison at the Twin Head, interrupting the spell. The gravity disappears, and he can move again. Without wasting a second, he jumps into the air and fires baby breath straight at the monster. The blast hits directly, and he expects it to be over. But to his surprise, the Twin Head quickly regenerates its injuries. Instead of panicking, he pays close attention. He realizes something important. The Blue Head is using magic, while the Red Head handles close combat. With this knowledge, he changes his approach. He charges again. The Red Head bites into him hard, sending sharp pain through his body, but he does not cry out. This was part of his plan. While the Red Head is focused on biting him, he twists and drives a strong uppercut into the Blue Head. The hit lands perfectly and stuns it. That small opening is enough. The Venom Princess jumps down and sinks her fangs into the Blue Head, injecting a large amount of poison. The Twin Head roars and activates its regeneration skill again. At first, the wounds begin to close, but something is wrong. Even while healing, its HP keeps dropping. The poison is stronger than its recovery. Seeing this, the dragon finally feels hope. Victory seems close. Then, in a shocking move, the Red Head suddenly bites down and tears the poisoned Blue Head off its own body to stop the toxin from spreading. He stares in disbelief at the brutal sight. After a moment, he feels slight relief. With the blue head gone, the twin head can no longer use magic. His relief disappears quickly. Losing one head was not a desperate move, but one of the twin head's special abilities. Even after being torn off, the blue head is still alive. It lands on the ground and immediately starts moving by itself. In an instant, it turns and rushes toward the Venom Princess. He tries to chase after it, but the red head blocks his way, forcing him to stay and fight. Now that magic is gone, the battle becomes pure close combat. The red head attacks wildly, biting and striking with full force. He stays calm, dodging carefully and countering at the right moments. The fight is intense but short. Using his timing and experience, he finds the perfect opening and unleashes his Nutcracker skill. The blow lands clean and destroys the redhead completely. As the forest grows quiet, fear suddenly fills his chest again. The other head is still alive and the Venom Princess is alone. She is the first true companion he has had since reincarnating into this world. At that moment, he does not care about becoming human or gaining strength. He only prays that she is safe. He searches frantically through the area. After what feels like a long time, he finally sees her crawling out from behind a bush. She is badly injured but alive. Relief washes over him, but before he can reach her, the blue head appears from behind and lunges to attack her. Without thinking, he jumps forward, grabs the blue head with his bare hands, and crushes it with all his remaining strength, ending the fight for good. Once the danger is gone, he rushes to the Venom Princess and holds her tightly. He tells her that he no longer cares about turning back into a human. Staying a dragon is enough for him as long as he can be with her. Just then, the system voice echoes in his mind, announcing that his stats have increased. After that, it delivers one more shocking message. He has unlocked the human transformation skill. His eyes widen in disbelief. At the same time, back in the village, Myra and Mariel prepare for the arrival of the adventurers. Myra wonders what kind of people they will be since visitors rarely come to their small village. Suddenly, there is a knock on the door, and moments later, the adventurers step inside. That concludes episode 5. Now, picking up exactly where we left off, we see our main boy, the Plague Dragon, locked in an insanely brutal head-to-head fistfight with the giant ape boss. Our guy is literally staring death right in the face, completely covered in battle damage, and he's just screaming at the boss, asking if it's scared of him. And honestly guys, who wouldn't be terrified in this situation? The adrenaline here is completely off the charts, and it all comes down to a raw physical brawl. Our boy decides it's time to end this and throws a devastating dragon punch right at the enemy, and boom, the system chimes in at the perfect moment to announce that his dragon punch skill actually levels up from level 2 to level 3. The fight is finally over, guys, and he actually won this crazy deathmatch. The system announces that he has gained a massive 162 experience points, plus a sweet little bonus of 16 extra points just thanks to his walking egg skill. And guys, this is huge. His Plague Dragon level jumps straight from level 37 all the way up to 39. On top of that, because he absolutely destroyed the previous leader, he unlocks a brand new, totally badass title called Boss of the Herd level 1. The mysterious voice of the system tells him to turn his pain into courage and become stronger, but our boy is just completely exhausted at this point. He is questioning what exactly he has even become, and suddenly everything just fades to black as he passes out from the sheer intensity of the battlefield. Now after this, we see our guy slowly waking up. He looks around and realizes he is back in his own dark cave, and his trusty companion, the Black Lizard, is right there with him. He is incredibly grateful and wonders how the heck the Black Lizard managed to drag his heavy, unconscious dragon body all the way back home safely. But wait a minute, as soon as his vision clears up, he notices something completely bizarre going on in his home. The entire cave is literally packed with those terrifying monkey creatures from the forest. At first, our boy is totally confused and slightly panicked, thinking they might be here for revenge. He thinks, what the hell? Are they here to attack me? But then he takes a closer look and realizes they aren't actually showing any hostility at all. In fact, it's the exact opposite, because our boy defeated their massive boss and earned that brand new Boss of the Herd title. These monkeys have now completely accepted him as their new absolute alpha. Imagine waking up and finding a whole squad of enemy minions just bowing down to you. This is completely insane, guys. Our boy realizes that since they are literally offering to serve him, he might as well put them to work. And the first order of business is food prep, because the monkeys actually brought him a bunch of raw meat as a a peace offering. Our boy sees this and thinks, wow, you guys are actually super useful. I don't even need to go hunting today. So he starts acting like a master chef and teaches these wild monkeys the sacred art of making beef jerky. He gives them precise instructions. First, you gotta cut the meat into thin slices. Then you toss that sliced meat right into a pot. Next, you add the salt and the spices and you massage it all together perfectly before letting it sit and rest. The monkeys actually follow his instructions flawlessly, but here's where things get a little spicy, guys. While our boy is busy managing his new monkey workforce, the black lizard is sitting in the corner, and she is getting extremely jealous. She starts hissing and making these angry little squeaking noises because she feels totally ignored by her best friend. Our boy completely misses the hint though, and keeps focusing entirely on his new base building project. He realizes that with all these new mouths to feed, they are going to need a lot more storage space for their food. So, what does he do next? He decides to teach his monkey army how to make pottery. He notices that the monkeys have really long, slender fingers, which makes them absolutely perfect for delicate crafting work. He grabs some clay that he got from the clay bears earlier and gives them a hands-on demonstration. He shapes the clay into a perfect bowl and tells them, "Alright, now it's your turn, guys." The monkeys get straight to work, and our boy is just chilling, watching his new minions craft storage pots like absolute pros. He even assigns a group of them to use the newly crafted clay tools to start digging and expanding the size of the cave. The monkeys are literally using tools now, building an entire civilization in this cave. Meanwhile, the poor black lizard tries to help out, but she only has her little front paws, so she can't really mold the clay at all. She gets even more frustrated and hisses again, but our clueless dragon boy still doesn't realize that he is seriously hurting his companion's feelings. Now on this side, the video cuts briefly to show the human adventurers. We see the girl, Yuno, and her party deep in conversation. They are talking about how they need to investigate the forest cave more thoroughly, because they are absolutely sure something dangerous is hiding in there. They are even planning to call in their powerful reinforcements, like Daz and Ramina, to rush over as soon as their current quest is over. They are totally freaked out that a terrifying plague dragon is freely roaming around their territory, and they want to put an end to it. But back at the cave, the next morning arrives, and our boy wakes up feeling incredibly heavy and sluggish. He tries to get up, but his body feels totally paralyzed. He looks around and sees all of his new monkey minions lying completely motionless on the cave floor. At first, he panics and thinks they are under attack by an enemy, and he starts yelling at the monkeys to wake up and spread out, but none of them are moving an inch. He checks their stats using his system, and that is when the hilarious truth finally hits him. They aren't dead, they are just deeply paralyzed and poisoned. And there is only one creature in this cave who uses that specific kind of poison powder: the black lizard. Our boy looks over at the black lizard, who is just sitting there acting completely innocent. He is like, "Bro, did you really just poison my entire workforce while I was sleeping?" He begs the black lizard to cure them, realizing that this little prank went way too far. He finally understands that the black lizard didn't like these new monkeys at all because he was giving them all of his attention and neglecting her. He feels super guilty and apologizes to his trusty companion right then and there. "My bad, I totally ignored you and only paid attention to them," he admits. To make it up to her, he promises that today they are going to go on a special private hunting trip, just the two of them. He leaves the paralyzed monkeys safely in the cave and reassures the black lizard that she is his #1 priority. He tells her that no matter what happens, she is his most important partner, and that is never going to change. The black lizard instantly forgives him and gets incredibly happy, letting out a cute little squeak. Meanwhile, we get another quick glimpse of the human side of the story. A human girl is getting super worried because the other adventurers went into the forest days ago and haven't sent any updates at all. She decides she has to go into the dangerous woods to look for them herself. Back to our main duo, the dragon and the black lizard are having an absolutely amazing time strolling through the forest together. He asks the black lizard to let him know the second she spots any good prey for them to hunt. They do some light warm-up exercises, stretching out before the big hunt, and our boy is just marveling at how perfectly in sync they are. He admits that not being able to speak the same language is a bit inconvenient, but their team up is still totally badass. But suddenly, the entire vibe completely shifts. Our boy hears a high-pitched voice echoing through the deep woods. It's a voice he recognizes instantly. It's the little human girl, Miria, and she sounds like she is in absolute terror. Our boy immediately goes into full protective mode because he knows he has to save her. He turns to the black lizard and tells her to stay back. He knows that with her current level, she isn't fast enough to keep up, and this situation could be incredibly dangerous for her. "Stay here, I'll be right back," he yells as he dashes forward at breakneck speed to find the girl. He arrives at the scene just in the nick of time, guys. He sees poor little Miria backed into a corner, completely terrified out of her mind, and standing right in front of her is a massive menacing beast. Our boy uses his system to check its stats, and it reveals that this monster is a Maha Wolf, a terrifying rank B monster. The system also warns him that this Maha Wolf has a special third eye ability, which allows it to share its vision and information with other wolves in its pack. This means that enemy reinforcements could be on the way at any second to jump him. Our boy knows he has to act fast, so he quickly checks Miria's HP and is super relieved to see that her health bar is still full. She hasn't been injured yet. But guys, here's the most tragic part of the episode. Our boy bravely steps in front of Miria to protect her from the wolf, expecting her to be relieved that he showed up. But instead, Miria looks at him and starts screaming in absolute horror. To her, he just looks like a massive, terrifying plague dragon that is about to eat her. He realizes that from her perspective, it probably looks like she was just saved from a thief only to be confronted by an evil demon lord. It's such a sad and totally unfair situation for our chill guy. And right at this insanely tense life or death moment when the Maha Wolf is getting ready to unleash a deadly poison powder breath attack, the system decides to pull the ultimate troll move. The voice of God suddenly chimes in inside his head, totally interrupting his focus in the middle of the battle. The system announces, "You have gained 36 experience points. Your walking egg skill has given you a bonus. Your plague dragon level has increased from 39 to 40. And then right as the giant rank B wolf is lunging at him, the system proudly declares, "Evolution conditions have been met. You can now evolve." Our boy is absolutely furious at the timing. He literally screams at the system, "Shut up, you stupid voice of God! Can't you see I'm in the middle of a massive fight here?" But despite the absolute chaos, our boy stands his ground like a true hero. He completely ignores the system's annoying notifications, braces his massive dragon body, and vows in his heart, "I don't care what happens, I will definitely protect Miria." He charges forward to clash with the Maha Wolf, ready to lay his life on the line for this little girl, and boom, the screen cuts to black. The epic ending theme song starts playing, and the episode leaves us on a massive, insane cliffhanger.
Meanwhile, let's shift gears and see what is going down back at the human village. Things are completely falling apart. Mariel and Gregory are totally freaking out because Milia has gone completely missing. Gregory reports that he has searched the entire village top to bottom, but there is absolutely zero sign of her. Mariel immediately realizes the terrifying truth. That crazy girl must have gone deep into the deadly Noah Forest all by herself. And guys, we all know Noah Forest is basically a death trap. It's completely infested with insane dangers, creepy caves hiding weird pots, and oh yeah, an actual plague dragon wandering around. Mariel bravely decides that he is going to go into the forest alone to find her, telling Gregory to keep patrolling the village just in case she magically comes back. However, they quickly realize that searching alone is pure suicide, so they decide to head to the village first to ask their client for permission to form a proper, heavily armed search party. Back to our absolute badass dragon. He's fighting off wave after wave of super annoying monsters in the forest. These guys are completely relentless and just won't run away. He manages to secure a tactical spot where they can't easily surround him, totally ready to fight them all off to protect Milia. But the gaming system hits him with the classic, super frustrating, level max, cannot earn experience points message. He's thinking to himself, okay, what's the master plan here? Do I just carry her back to the village? But then he remembers the last time he tried that. The humans completely misunderstood his intentions and attacked him. He really wishes he could just ask Milia why the heck she came into this dangerous forest all alone. But the language barrier between monsters and humans is just too thick to cross. He decides his absolute best bet is to carry her to a safe spot near the edge of the village and drop her off secretly. But wait guys, suddenly a miracle happens. He somehow feels like he understood Milia. He thinks she just whispered, "Thank you," to him. Before he can even process this emotional moment, the voice of God system interrupts him again. asking if he wants to check out his new evolution paths. He's super annoyed at the timing, complaining that the system always ruins his good moods, but he agrees to look anyway. Guys, he gets 4 absolutely insane evolution options. The first one is the Dark Dragon Human, a literal demi-human form. He's mind-blown thinking, wait, does this mean I can basically be a human again? The second option is the Rolling Dragon, the absolute undisputed speedster of the dragon world. But he quickly realizes that just means he's going to be literally rolling around on the ground everywhere like a bowling ball, and the name is way too stupid. The third option is the Little Arc Dragon, a super rare light attribute dragon that can literally use white magic. And the fourth, oh boy guys, close your eyes. It's the Jormungandr, a giant terrifying snake completely covered in lethal poison scales. The system literally states that no grass will ever grow on the land it passes through. Our boy is like, absolutely not. That is literally the ultimate enemy of humanity. He completely crosses off Jormungandr and Rolling Dragon. He seriously considers the Dark Dragon human because he desperately wants to fit in with humans, especially to stay close to Milia. But then he worries about his monster friends. How would his buddy Kuro Tokage, the Black Lizard, react to him becoming a human type? While he is deep in thought about his crazy dragon life crisis, Milia speaks to him again. And guess what? His Guri language skill suddenly levels up from level 2 to level 3. He can actually fully understand human speech now. Milia tells him that she was secretly sneaking into the forest behind Mariel's back to look for someone. At first, our dragon assumes she means those 2 adventurers from the cave, but she clarifies that she is actually looking for a guy named Doze. Our dragon is completely shocked by this revelation because he thought Doze got absolutely destroyed and killed by the Little Rock Dragon earlier. Also, Milia finally realizes that this is the exact same dragon that saved her life back then. Then, we get the absolute most wholesome moment in the entire series, guys. Milia softly asks him if he has a name. Since he obviously doesn't, she asks if she can be the one to give him a name. Our dragon is absolutely thrilled and practically crying tears of joy. She decides to name him Illusia, which she explains is the name of her absolute favorite flower. The voice of God immediately chimes in with a prompt to confirm the name, strictly warning him that once the name is set, it can literally never be changed. Our boy doesn't even hesitate for a single second. He completely accepts the beautiful name Illusia, feeling like this level of happiness shouldn't even be allowed. But of course, because this is an anime, the peace does not last. Suddenly, they hear massive, booming footsteps echoing through the forest. Illusia knows exactly what kind of giant monster makes that terrifying noise, but he knows its nest should be way farther out. He tries to take a quick detour to get Milia back to the village safely, but they are suddenly ambushed by more monsters. And standing right there leading the mock wolves is Doze! But guys, something is terribly, terribly wrong with him. Illusia checks Doze's stats and sees that his skill list is completely empty. Doze is being completely manipulated and mind-controlled. And the craziest part of all? Doze is carrying something super important. It looks like a giant chunk of earth, but it's actually the legendary rock dragon's egg. Illusia realizes the horrifying truth in an instant. Doze isn't just wandering around aimlessly. He is intentionally carrying the stolen egg to lure the massive, raging rock dragon straight toward the human village. Our boy is completely panicking. Why would Doze do this? Does he have a grudge against the village? Or is the monster entirely controlling his brain? Illusia knows he has to snatch that egg back immediately, but carrying Milia makes him way too slow to chase Doze down. Milia, being an absolute brave legend, tells Illusia to drop her and leave her behind. She promises that she will stall the vicious monsters so Illusia can go stop Doze. But Illusia is like, are you crazy? He knows she would get absolutely slaughtered by those beasts. In a totally badass move, he screams in pure defiance, unleashes a massive fireball, and completely obliterates the monsters attacking them. He tells Milia there is no way in hell he is ever leaving her behind. He makes a firm, unbreakable vow. He is going to save the village, and he is going to protect Milia at the exact same time. He tells her to hold on tight as they rush toward the village to stop the impending apocalyptic disaster. The episode starts with a massive emergency. The villagers are completely panicking because someone named Doze has actually stolen the egg of the little rock dragon. Like, what is this guy even thinking, bro? He is deliberately luring this giant, terrifying monster directly toward the innocent village. Meanwhile, our favorite dragon Illusia is carrying the injured Milia on his back. trying his hardest to escape from a bunch of angry monsters. Milia begs him to leave her behind so she can hold off the enemies while Ilusha goes to stop Doze. "But bro, Ilusha is an absolute legend," he tells her. "What are you even saying? There is no way you can beat them." He quickly obliterates the monsters and promises to protect the village, but he also swears to protect Milia no matter what. He uses his special recovery magic to heal her wounds, and Milia is just so incredibly sweet and grateful. But suddenly, things take a very dark turn. Grigori, the tough swordsman from the village, suddenly blocks their path. He instantly recognizes Ilusha as the plague dragon who stabbed his leg before. Grigori draws his sword, fully prepared to kill Ilusha right there. But guys, Milia bravely steps right in front of the blade. She desperately explains the truth to Grigori, telling him that Ilusha is actually super kind and came all the way here just to save their village. Grigori realizes that Ilusha was only attacking earlier to protect Milia. And guys, you will not believe this. Grigori immediately drops his weapon and apologizes. He realizes he was totally wrong about our boy. Grigori is actually a really awesome dude. He is even more shocked when he finds out Ilusha can perfectly understand human speech. They quickly realize that Doze is trying to use the dragon egg as bait to make the mother rock dragon completely destroy the village. So Grigori jumps onto Ilusha's back, and they sprint toward the village together. Grigori even says that if they win, Ilusha will become a famous dragon hero and get a massive welcome party. When they finally reach the village, Grigori yells at everyone to run for their lives because the giant dragon is coming. But Doze is already standing right there, holding the precious egg. Ilusha checks Doze's stats and realizes something is very wrong. Doze has the exact same weird status condition as the Maha Wolf. He is completely out of his mind. Doze raises the egg, ready to smash it right onto the ground to make the mother dragon go totally insane. But Ilusha knows he cannot just kill Doze to stop him. If he kills a human, he feels like he will permanently become a terrible monster inside. So our hero holds back, carefully subduing Doze and putting him to sleep without dealing any fatal damage. The kid is safe, and the egg is finally secure. Wow, disaster totally avoided, right? Wrong! Suddenly, a massive booming sound echoes from the dark forest. The little rock dragon has finally arrived, guys! And this thing is absolutely massive and terrifying. Ilusha tells Grigori to grab the villagers and run away as fast as possible. He knows he must fight this absolute unit of a boss all by himself just to buy them enough time to escape. Ilusha analyzes the rock dragon's stats, and guys, this monster is completely overpowered. Its attack and defense stats are insanely high. Ilusha fearlessly charges right in. He hits it squarely with a powerful dragon punch. Absolutely nothing happens. He blasts it with a point-blank heavy breath. Still 0 damage. He even uses his ultimate star drop attack, but the rock dragon does not even flinch. This monster's defense is just way too ridiculous. Ilusha is taking heavy damage, and he cannot think of a single attack that will actually work against this beast. Just when things look totally hopeless, Grigori and the brave villagers suddenly return to the battlefield. Grigori shouts that he refuses to just run away while their new dragon brother fights and bleeds for their home. They all try to distract the massive monster by throwing weapons at its eyes. But guys, even their combined team attacks do absolutely nothing. The rock dragon easily swats them away, and Grigori gets seriously injured in the process. Ilusha realizes they are in deep trouble. He desperately needs a massive miracle right now. And exactly at that moment, guys, a crazy system notification suddenly pops up on his screen. Ilusha's special Voice of God skill has suddenly leveled up from level 3 to level 4. This amazing upgrade unlocks a brand new ability called the Laplace Simulation. But wait, things get super weird. The Voice of God actually begins speaking directly to him like a real conscious person. It has this extremely arrogant, mocking attitude, saying things like, "It is a real shame we have to say goodbye here. Watching you struggle was actually pretty entertaining." Like, who does this voice even think it is? Ilusha gets super angry and demands answers, but the voice just cruelly replies that level 4 does not include any further explanation. This system is straight up trolling him, bro! But Ilusha remembers he still has one final trump card left up his sleeve. Evolution! If he can evolve into a stronger form right now, he might actually get enough power to defeat this unstoppable boss. He quickly checks his available evolution option. First is Jormungandr, but that is a deadly, poisonous dragon that would easily wipe out the entire village. Then there is Rolling Dragon, Tarask, and Little Arc Dragon, which can use white magic. He asks the system which form gives him the best chance to win. Suddenly, the system drains his magic points and activates the Laplace simulation predictions. And guys, the predicted stats are absolutely devastating. If he chooses to evolve into the little Arc Dragon, his overall win rate is only 4%, and the village rescue success rate is less than 1%. If he chooses Jormungandr, he has a massive 98% chance of a double knockout, but a 94% chance that the entire village gets completely annihilated anyway. And what if he chooses the Rolling Dragon form? His win rate drops to less than 1%, but his personal escape success rate shoots up to over 99%. The voice of God is literally telling our brave boy to just abandon his friends, run away like a coward, and leave everyone else to die. Can you believe this absolute disrespect, guys? Illucia is absolutely furious right now. He is definitely not the kind of guy to just run away and leave sweet Milia, brave Grigori, and all the innocent villagers to be slaughtered. He firmly decides right then and there to completely reject the system's cowardly advice. He is going to bravely stand his ground, protect the people he loves, and find some miraculous way to win against all of these impossible odds. And guys, that is exactly where this amazing episode finally ends. What dragon form will Illucia ultimately choose to evolve into? How in the world will he defeat this completely unbeatable monster? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.